class of 2020, Best Class Ever Leadership Arlington.
Hi.
I am here with the lovely and talented Lindsay Whittenberg. Say hi,
Hello.
Lindsay.
Hello.
We're
Thanks
so
for
glad
having
that
me.
you're here. The Arts and Culture Committee for Leadership Arlington, BCE 2020, had to pivot from a live event to something that's a little bit more of a blend of YouTube and Zooming and follow up later and all those things. And so what I really wanted to do, you were going to be able to engage with Lindsay in person, give her a little side hug or neck hug if you needed to, but she's just an incredible talent here in our Arlington Dream City, and create some art and hear from her about her take on arts education and its importance and its value and its essentialness. So what we can do here is kind of go through that presentation you were going to have, and we'll make it a little bit longer this time since we're not doing the painting.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Y'all would have loved it.
You're going to have to, look her up later and do that class. It's called flow painting. I'll get back to you on it.
It's pretty good.
So I wanted to say hello and thank you for being here. First of all, we're so glad that you're just giving us the benefit of your experience and your brightness.
Well,
so a little bit about Lindsay. She is Arlington native. She graduate of Lamar High School. She went on to earn a bachelor's degree in art education at
Texas Tech.
Right?
Guns up.
Guns up. After teaching elementary art in Arlington ISD for 8 years, she was awarded Teacher of the Year.
I mean, it's no big deal.
Did it come with a crown?
I mean, yeah, I wear a tiara every day.
Fantastic. That says a whole lot. And coming out of those 8 years, she decided to be a stay-at-home mom. She has 2 lovely, delightful children, a little boy and a little girl. Lovely on most days. I've only encountered them as lovely. It was then that she began teaching art lessons from her home because she can't not teach. She
Apparently, I just can't stop.
born extrovert, so the stay-at-home thing was not
Wasn't working.
No. So she eventually expanded that into adult classes, and that's when I first came across Lindsay and just sparked to her from
I
jump.
remember that.
That was a fun night.
That was
a fun night. It included a beer at Legal Draft.
Sure did.
It sure did. And hammers. No, it was the burning thing.
Wood burning.
Wood burning. Wood burning. I was trying really hard.
And you tried so hard. Yes, I did. You did awesome.
Yes, I did. So today she continues those lessons, and so she's an entrepreneur now. Her business is called Lindsay's Art Cart, and the premise of it is that she can go to you, bring the arts to you.
Yeah.
It's so much more than crafting. So it's about community, and it's about a grown-up just realizing that just a little bit of good teaching and you can make something beautiful.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So in just kind of reading through your formal bio, you really focused on the education part of it. And so that's really what I want our BCE 2020 to kind of hear from you about.
Yeah.
Is not only in how you were educated, but then how you turn that around and you educated the kids of Arlington yourself.
Oh, no pressure.
Yeah.
Well, so like you said, I graduated at Lamar, class of 01. Isn't that wild? It's so weird to say that.
That is this century. I'm not going to say my graduation year. It was not this century.
And so I went to Texas Tech, and I actually started out as pre-physical therapy. So I was kind of a math and science person, which no one really thinks about, but it definitely correlates, and you can take those skills to the arts as well. So about 2 years in, I found myself dissecting a cat and thought, I'm taking a wrong turn somewhere. This isn't working for me. And so after lots of talking with my mom on the phone, what am I doing with my life? Decided to switch over to art education. And so I never looked back. I loved it. And so after I graduated, came back here with my husband, and we bought a house here, and I started teaching at West Elementary. So I taught elementary art for 8 years.
Nice.
And so I saw 1st grade through 6th grade. And my first year, there were about 1,200 students in that school.
Wow.
And my biggest class, I remember, had I remember clearly I had 40 fourth graders in one class.
That's an insane
It was
number.
a lot. It was a lot. And I had a teacher's aide. I had needed an assistant because it was
Thank
so
goodness.
many kids. But it was being thrown in the deep end that first year, figuring it all out. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now you then before you pivoted, you probably experienced a year where an already tight public school budget got tighter. And you know, you can see someone well-intended to just is looking at numbers only, and they might take that cut pen and go to band and drama and visual arts, all of those things, and start to cut or eliminate. What I really want our class to understand is that a good idea? Or is that not a good idea? No.
No, a resounding no. Yeah, like I mentioned, some of these class sizes are huge, and so when the budget gets cut, just even by $100 or something, I mean that can limit you to less than $1 per kid per year, which, when you really think about it, is just crazy. And so it limits what they're able to be exposed to, meaning, you know, everything, there's quality in everything. So you can get the nice paint or the not so nice paint. They can get to experience blending with different materials, and just the exposure that they can have can change dramatically based on a budget. Yeah, so it's very important to invest.
It's very important to invest. So how does an hour or 40 minutes in a school day that's dedicated to, you know, not traditional learning, reading, writing, arithmetic, how does an art 40 minutes influence the rest of that child's day? Like, what does it do to make them better at the other things?
Well,
we were talking before about how it's just they're centered and they're calm, and
I think right now it's so interesting during this pandemic that more people are turning to the arts than I've seen in years. I've seen people in my classes and other classes as well picking up a paintbrush for the first time since they were in elementary school, because they're looking for something to give them some peace, help them calm in this world that's very chaotic right now. And it just kind of helps everyone feel centered. And so when you think about how we're feeling, that's how kids are feeling at school every single day. And so to have that 50 minutes at my school, have those 50 minutes where they could just be creative and have that freedom, and there's no right or wrong answer, there's no pressure. There's a lot of freedom in that, and it helps them, I think, navigate life, honestly. There's, you know, lots of analogies to be made, but it's very calming.
And that opens up their mind to be just that much more able to take in, you know, all the math and the history and everything that they're learning in their day. You contributed to a book. A little birdie told me about this, and it's actually a math book.
Yeah.
So how does a creative get involved in a math book?
It was bizarre. Yeah. Who would have thought, me in an engineering book? But yeah, back when I was in the classroom, we had some professors from Purdue University that came down, and they were working on an engineering program at the elementary level, and really getting these kids to start thinking critically about different things, and they were curious about how we could integrate art into that process. They learn that at a young age, and they're just more explorative. But I think a lot of adults, they made that decision early on that they couldn't draw or they couldn't paint, and that's just the narrative that they have in their head their whole life.
Or some adult that wasn't you that told them that's not for you. You don't do that.
I've heard horrible stories like that. Yeah, that breaks my heart. So I think I just love the idea of being able to get a group of people together, just try something new. And maybe it goes great, and maybe it's like, I don't know. But the whole idea is to just try. Just try.
Just try. when we were talking earlier, you mentioned a book, maybe it was a blog that you read about the beautiful boo-boo. Is that right?
The beautiful oops.
The beautiful oops.
I like beautiful boo-boo.
It sounds like a pageant kid thing. Beautiful boo-boo.
Yeah, beautiful oops.
Beautiful
we read that
oops.
the first day of class usually, and it just, the whole point is you're going to make a mistake. It's inevitable, and that's a life lesson. That's not just an art lesson. And it's what you do with that mistake that matters, because
this is what they were learning in a public education environment.
Yeah.
And those of us adults that have to catch up to that, first of all, thank you.
Oh.
And then the way Lindsay shares art with Arlington, it's not crafting. Let me tell you that. It's not crafts. It is community. It is a creative outlet. It is supporting one another. It's interdependence. And it's really, really great. And it's a beautiful package. Any given day, you're going to have something lovely to come out of it.
Yeah.
Even if it was just the belly laugh that you were having.
Yes.
That embroidery thing was just too much. It was just too
We
much.
all learn our strengths.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Yeah. So right now, the world has taken a great pause.
Yeah.
We're almost exclusively focused on pandemic.
Yeah.
Stay at home. Separate. And your business model is dependent on togetherness.
Right.
So for now, what does Lindsay art look like for you?
Yeah.
And tag on to that as we come out of it.
Right.
We're in phase 2.
Right.
We're about to be able to get our nails done.
Right.
As we start to come out of
Hallelujah.
that. Hallelujah. What are you going to keep?
That's a great question, and I'm still figuring it out as we go, for sure. Because right now, I think we're about 6 weeks into this whole thing, and literally within a few days, it became apparent that my business, as I knew it, was obsolete. Like, it was overnight just not possible, and so I had to make a choice to either go with it or wait. And you can't wait when you don't know how long something's going to go.
Right.
So I just decided, you know what? I don't know the technology perfectly, but I know what I can do. And so what I know I can do is teach. And I'm going to just do that and try to be there for those parents that are like me, scrambling to figure out what in the world to do with their kids every day. And so I did provide some art lessons. I did 2 weeks worth of lessons just for free online that anyone could go to. I had a lot of adults doing it too. It was so fun. And so I'm still doing that. I actually started working with UTA professors who had student teachers that were in the middle of their student teaching when this hit, and they couldn't finish their hours, their observation hours. So they are using Lindsay's Art Cart online as their platform for getting those.
Yeah, so on the other side of this pandemic,
Yes.
as in the next, don't think about the next 5-10 years about Arlington arts and culture, but the next 5-10 months of Arlington's arts and culture. How can our class best help the re-rising of that thriving arts and culture community?
I think it's just continuing to support the local businesses when you can. And I know that that's the case for mine. I'm really counting on that loyal customer base, and I think a lot of downtown Arlington companies are. So when it comes to arts and entertainment, either seek those places out that do like curbside delivery or online classes. Those are fantastic options. There's so much talent right here.
Agreed.
There's no
Agreed.
need to go elsewhere. Like, if you can do it locally, just please do, especially during this time. It's crucial to help get us through to the other side.
Get us through to the other side. And then thinking in terms of the longer term, the 5-10 years. So in that time frame, I believe it's on the other side of this building, is
So we've got
another opportunity for Arlington citizens to come be creative.
Yes. So, and that's, again, a big question mark. What is that going to look like? We don't even know, But what we do know is that the collaboration is a huge part of it. And we're not going anywhere. It's just a matter of making sure that we're doing it in a very safe manner that makes everyone comfortable. So whether that needs to stay online, that may just be a new thing. That's just an ongoing process now, and then also incorporating the live so we can have a little bit of both.
So this will be a studio back here that you'll be.
So
you'll still have mobile out to the community, but they'll also have more of a community center here too, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be an events venue, sociability, and so I will be able to have more classes there on a more consistent basis.
Fantastic. Yeah. And again, sharing economy. That's part of Tony's company's Three Monkeys, right? Three Monkeys. So that is one of the top 2 takeaways I think I've had from this conversation, other than underscoring that I really do admire you, and I'm glad that you love Arlington, because we're going to keep you. Just really, arts education in our schools is more than just learning how to draw a pretty picture.
Yeah.
It is so much more than that. It's giving that kid an opportunity to have a better day for all the other classes that they've been taking that. And we learned that, math and engineering and art are a nice marriage.
Yeah.
And a way that we can revive and re-rise the Arlington arts and culture community is to be very local and be a participant in that sharing economy. Yes. As we're going out to these venues, Theater Arlington, Arlington Music Hall, Levitt, we're influencers. Class 2020.
Yeah.
That's not just for millennials. That's for everybody. So tell people what we're doing, right?
Yeah. Sometimes if people feel like they can't support financially, just doing a shout out on Facebook, that'll help just as much sometimes, just to get the word out there.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay, I've had a delightful afternoon with you. So we've had coffee so far, but this is going to have a stem on it here in just a little bit.
Not too long.
Yeah, we're not above a little bit day drinking, right? Thank you very much, Lindsay.